Come on, Dave, we're going to go in.
Okay, so we've just brought all of the remaining cactus and succulents indoors in trays, and I just cannot believe this right now. I mean, look at that one. A lot of the ones that landed on the floor in the pools of water were worse off. There's a lot of jade here and succulent plants mainly. They seem to be okay. Some of them didn't get knocked down and some did, and the ones that were on the floor were the worst. This one here, I really hope it's going to be okay. I really like this one. But this is all down to Storm Dennis. I mean, it was just crazy. Cannot believe this. I'm going to have so much work to do now. I hope this is going to be okay. That's one of my special jades there. It's variegated. These are just some of my little cuttings. These ones in this tray, is quite a lot here. This lithops is lost, two heads have lost its roots, have come away. It was a multi-headed plant. There's some that are underneath the pile that you can't see, but this one was a very special cactus. It belonged to my partner's late mum, Sally. And this piece that I'm holding here was basically where you see it thicken up towards the tip is how much growth it put on during the summer in 2019. But obviously where it's fallen down, that bit's the weakest and it's completely snapped. I'm just hoping that we can save it, and you can see here I've got the cutting there, which is the piece that fell away. I mean, it put on so much growth. She had it in her kitchen for years and years and years, and then when we put it in the greenhouse in the summer, it just took off like no one's business. There you go. It's a clean sort of break. It doesn't look like it's rotting away, so I put cinnamon on it afterwards. This is the lithops plant, and it was a multi-headed lithops. It's quite a large specimen. I originally got it from Germany, and it's been such a beautiful cactus ever since I've had it. I've had no problems with it, but it did suffer last year when I got the rain that soaked through the greenhouse, and this is the second time now this has happened. But look, this one has lost its root. This one has lost its root. I don't know if it's even going to recover. I mean, I've tried looking for research to find out if they will root again, but there's not a lot of information. I just hope that it's going to be okay, because it's such an old one. Here I'm just going through the cactus plants one by one, taking them out the pots, raking away the wet sodden soil, just trying to give them the best chance really. The less soil they have attached, the quicker they'll dry out. A lot of them look okay. These ones look okay. And these ones have really grown a lot. They were literally half the size of this when I got them, and they put on, 2 to 3 inch growth in summer alone. This was one of the plants that I had in a cluster originally, and I think I had just 2 left. And these ones were the ones that were doing really well, but that one doesn't look too bad because of the way it's fallen. But this one, I don't know if it's just got knocked into something, it's just dented it like a rotten apple. And it's amazing how quickly a couple of days can just cause so much damage. I've sprinkled it with cinnamon, so we'll see how it goes. You can see another little one there that I've cut in half and put cinnamon on. This one is a really lovely plant. This one I've had since it was very small when I originally got it in a tiny little 5cm pot, and it's put on loads of growth. The base looks like it's sort of wet and damp down there, but actually once I took the soil off it seemed okay. It was quite solid. I've put napkins in here, clean ones. This is a little plastic drawer system that my partner went out to get me, so I could just put them in these trays to dry out, just so it wasn't taking up so much space in the room really. I'm just arranging them in there now. And what that will do is soak up the water but also help dry them out, and I'm leaving the drawers open because there's no holes or gaps. So this one is beautiful. This was a really tiny little plant when I got it, so I hope that's going to be okay. And here's the drawers. I've just put them underneath my sideboard and I'm leaving them open. And there's some more there that I've finished doing, but it was taking too long to film it all, so I'm just showing you most of them here afterwards. I didn't take off too much soil because it was getting to the point where they were just losing so much soil and roots. I didn't want to kill them off. And this is the next drawer down. Some nice specimens here, which were actually doing quite well outside in the cold because they were dry. This one's a bit mouldy, rotten, but I'll see how it goes. These are my little Mammillaria elongata cuttings, and these ones are really special because I love the spine colours on these. They're like a purple black, really nice. And then I've got the third drawer down, which I've just started to put more cactus in, because I've got loads more to do. This is one of my special jades. It doesn't grow very fast, so I hope it's going to be okay. Okay, it's the next day and I just wanted to check my cactus to see how they're going. I've had the dehumidifier running, as I do every single day, but I've just whacked up the humidity factor down to 40% just to help clear the dampness. This is the top drawer. You can see that it's a hell of a lot drier now, and they seem to be doing okay. I mean, some of them look worse than others. The ones that were worse off were the cactus plants that had fallen down onto the ground into the puddles of rainwater, and obviously they were sat in it continuously, so they then tended to do worse. I couldn't believe it. I just heard this continuous flapping noise and I went outside and I just could not believe what I saw. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, that was the first time I filmed it as I went outside, just to show you what happened. And that was all down to Storm Dennis, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just ridiculous. That greenhouse is put up with a lot of winds, high winds especially, but this one it just seemed to just rip it apart. The frame stayed where it was because obviously we really weighted it down very well, but the little ties that you tie onto the framework, which are attached to the plastic cover, were all tied up. I had additional cable ties around it. It just whipped through it, so it was just a nightmare. Thankfully, I brought most of my cactus plants indoors at the end of summer 2019 because I was worried about specific plants because they were like my treasured ones. And these ones I kept an eye on over the course of the weeks as it went on and it got colder, to check for them being frost and low temperature hardiness, and they tended to be doing okay, so I left them out there, and their soil was dry, so that meant that they were okay. Despite the best efforts of trying to look after them, this goes and happens. So I've mainly had the succulents out there, so these are just a few of the cacti that I had left outside. I had a lot of jades and golem jades and stuff like that out there. So let's have a look at the next drawer. This one is still a little bit wet, but there's quite a lot of water. I tried to take as much soil off as I could, but it got to the point where I was just literally the roots were just coming away and I was just destroying the root system. So I just took off as much as I could and just left some soil attached, because at the end of the day I just didn't want to completely kill them off. This one here, that one looks quite rotten because where it was sat in the water, but I'm just going to give it a go, see what it does. I had a few out there that I was really upset about. My little Forcaria, I think he's going to be okay. These are all my little cuttings which came off of my 13-year-old Mammillaria elongata, which I've had for obviously 13 years, and I'm so happy. I think they're going to be okay. And this one wasn't too bad actually, this one here. It just had a little tiny bit of surface water on it. It didn't tend to get as much rain on it as the others did. And then this one here, I'm still filling them up. I've still got some more to do. Those two there. These are recent ones that my partner bought me a few weeks ago, so. And I've just come back into the living room now. You can see that some of the trays are quite empty now, where I've been picking at them as I've been going along. But I stayed up until really late last night just to try and get some of them sorted out, because the longer you leave it, the worse they get. So I've still got this to work through today. But I wanted to show you the video just to show you what happened. And I will not be using my greenhouse this year. I'm getting shelves. I think I've mentioned before. I'm going to get some shelves, and I've already got all my grow lights, so I'm going to have my setup indoors from now on, because they were doing fine. I just thought they might be better off out in the sunshine, in the good weather. But no. The weather is temperamental over here, so I'm going to be working on the rest of these today. I've got lots and lots of repotting to do as well. So I've got my soil here. I've still got to add extra ingredients to it, but I've prepared it now because the cocoa coir blocks I get need water adding to them. So over the course of a few weeks this will dry out, and then it will be nice and dry for me for repotting. And the rest of it I've got over here in the rest of the bag. So I just keep turning it and mixing it around just to aerate it, just to help it dry out, so by the time I come to use it, it should be nice and dry. Okay then, thank you for watching. Bye.